Hello students, this video is for class 8, chapter 18, that is wise use of natural resources, right? So we all have a basic idea about the natural resources, that the resources basically that we use for getting energy, that are basically are being provided by the nature, right? So first of all, we'll start with the forest. As we all know, if we are talking about India only, so basically the India around 20%, or you can say one fifth of the area is basically covered by the forest, right? And they again play a very critical role in our lives. Ultimately, somehow directly or indirectly, we are depending upon them, right? And forest, as we have seen, they are responsible or are the source of providing your exhaustible natural resources, right? But somehow these exhaustible, right now I can understand. I'm thinking that you all have an idea about the meaning of exhaustible resources, right? The one that gets depleted over a period of time, right? But the overutilization of these natural resources have actually led to the depletion of the forest cover. Means that the area is continuously being decreased, right? Now, there's a beauty about forest actually that we have to understand. There is a mutual balance, or you can say respect balance in terms of technically, if you say between the plants and animals. Somehow both are dependent upon them, right? For example, when animals are breathing, they are releasing continuously carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide acts as a source of food for the plants, right? But that is using carbon dioxide in terms of photosynthesis, right? And somehow the plants are also dependent on birds and insects. For example, if you have to discuss about the word pollination, right? So for the reproduction part, plants are dependent upon different type of birds and insects also, right? Now there are various animals, like for the example, we can say top level of food chains, they are dependent on plants or certain other animals indirectly, right? So there is basically a certain self-sustaining ecosystem. Means the balance, there is a continuous, or you can say mutual dependency of plants and animals is there among them, right? Now if you have to go to a very small level, like for example decomposers, if I'm telling, those are basically microorganisms, that you can say fungi, bacteria and all. They convert the organic matter into humus, and ultimately this conversion of humus, of this organic matter, dead and decaying organic matter, results in maintaining the balance of nutrients that is there in the soil, right? Ultimately, you can say between the biotic and the abiotic component also, there is a mutual balance, right? So next topic we have is of deforestation. We have seen like over the past several decades, there is a continuous cutting of trees depending upon the requirement that we have as humans we have, right? So this is called as deforestation, when on a large scale trees are being cut, right? Now there are several effects, right, of this deforestation that we can see, like for example, top layer or the top soil of the soil, that is actually becoming infertile, which is supposed to be the most fertile one, having the highest concentration of humus and all, right? Plants and animals, they are losing their habitat and all. Ultimately, deforestation has led to the sort of invitation for the natural calamities. Then ultimately pollution also is causing an impact on the pollution, on the deforestation also, right? The quality of air, that is the AQI, air quality index, that you have used would have seen in the news and all, that has keep on increasing. Means the quality of air is continuously decreasing, right? Biodiversity is getting lost, right? So what are the certain measures that we can take for the conservation of natural forest, right? First thing is afforestation, that is completely opposite to deforestation, that is planting of trees on a large scale, right? Then in forest areas, we have seen like there are tribal people, they used to follow this jhum cultivation, right? Means cutting, growing a crop at a particular area, and then leaving that once it becomes unfertile, right? Then they should be discouraged in a way, right? Means commercializing, means like they should be made or requested to use this land continuously for over a period of time, right? Then overgrazing is there, that should be stopped, right? Continuous overgrazing will hamper the growth of the grass and all, right? What thing that we can do is like, basically the forest areas are there, that should be declared as national parks and all. Like for example, if they are made as a tourist center and all, this will lead to the promotion, or in sort of way you can say awareness will be brought among the people, right? And then certain laws should be there, rules should be implemented in such a way that that will ensure that the protection of forest is occurring, right? Now moving on, we have seen the next topic is your fossil fuels. So basically fossil fuels are, we know, they are the fuels that have been formed over a period of time from the dead and decaying organic matter, basically plants and animals. So that we'll be studying. First is your coal. So coal is basically, you can see, over a prolonged period of time, right, when the dead trees and plants and animals, they'll be buried under the earth crust, they'll be resulting into the formation of coal, right? So basically this main conversion of wood or wood only way, right, into coal, that is a carbon containing compound, is called as carbonization, right? And coal that we see in our day-to-day life is classified as into four categories. That is your anthracite, bituminous, lignite and peat. Peat is the raw coal, which you can say having the least amount of carbon. Then bituminous lignite is there, that is used as an industrial fuel, having 38% of carbon. Bituminous is the black lignite, having 65% of carbon. And the best one is the anthracite, which 96% mainly contains of carbon only, right? Then there is a process that is called as destructive distillation. That is when we are burning the coal in absence of oxygen, right? Several products are being formed. There is your coke, then you have coal gas, right, coal tar and all, right? So those are obtained by the destructive distillation, and again it is nothing but the burning of these coal in absence of oxygen. So what is coke? Coke is a fuel for industries and used for metallurgical purposes, right? That is for the extraction of metals from their corresponding ores. Then we have coal tar, again a liquid like structure, right? Is used for making fats, soaps and dyes, etc. Plastics, I forgot, right? Then coal gas, also called as town gas, is a mixture of methane along with your carbon monoxide and all, which is used as a fuel in the urban areas, right? Then we have petroleum. So petroleum is formed when the organic matter gets trapped or gets embedded in the oceans that used to exist over a long period of time, right? So that's how we get petroleum, and the other name for that is crude oil, right? Now once how there are different ways of extracting crude oil, right? So what we do actually is like we put long drilling pipes through the seabed and all, and then we extract this crude oil, right? Now crude oil is a source of basically you can say petrol, diesel, CNG and all, right? So this process where we are extracting these different type of fuels from crude oil is called as refining of petroleum, and we have follow this method that is called as fractional distillation, right? So moving on, we can see this complete setup of fractional distillation. So what happens is like there are different components which are present in crude oil, and from the bottom will put this crude oil and we'll start heating them, right? And then there are different compartments or chambers and outlets for extracting out these different metals, right? Then we have natural gas. Natural gas is again basically is called as CNG, right? Again formed from you can say where the petroleum is being found in the earth crust. Above that we'll have a packet of natural gas, right? And it is a mixture of methane, butane and propane only, right? Now nowadays in India, actually what is happening, like for the commercial use, like for the domestic use, you can say it is being transported through pipes, right? Okay. Now over extraction of fossil fuels is there, right? Now what we have to understand, like fossil fuels are exhaustible, that is they are present in the limited quantity. So if we go on using them up to a very high rate, and we are using them, then ultimately it will lead to the depletion of these resources, right? Then the reason being we are using is like coal is basically the main source for production of electricity and all, as the demand for that is continuously increasing. So there are several you can say severe impact of that on the environment, right? First is leading to the greenhouse gases. Then we say carbon monoxide is being formed. Then when the oil or these resources, oil for example, oil or natural gases are being transported from one place to another, then there might be a leakage which can result into a serious accident at the sites, right? The place where the coals are being extracted, that is the coal mining is occurring, there we can say vast land areas, the biodiversity will be destroyed in that area. So what can be done for conservation of natural fuels, that we'll see, right? There is an estimate that has been given, is like the rate at which we are using the natural resources. If we are continue to use them in such a way, then over a period of time, 50-60 years, will not be having them only, right? So what can be done, right? Basically we should go for renewable sources, right, which are available in abundant quantity. Optimum use should be there, right? Like if individual person should not use, when multiple people are there, then only we should go for the four wheelers. LED bulb should be used instead of regular bulb. Pollution of that vehicle, the reason that is the pollution that the vehicle is causing, that should be checked at regular intervals and all. And this principle of 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse and recycle, should be followed always. Now there's an institute, or you can say government agency, Petroleum Conservation of Research Association. They advise how the vehicle should be drawn so that proper use is there. Like the vehicle should not run at a very high speed, they should run at a very moderate speed. When you are at a traffic jam, then you should turn off your vehicle and all. Vehicle should be maintained, or you can say service should be proper, right? Those things and all, right? So that's it from this chapter, guys, and thank you.